Hello there, and today I am going to do a my experience with a microphone video. Check the description field below because whatever I'm going to talk about, because I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Well, actually I do. I know what microphone I'm going to talk about, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. Check the description field below because I'm going to put chapter markers in there, and if you're in a hurry and you don't want to listen to the whole video, you can go down there and click on the different chapter markers so that you can navigate to the part of the video that interests you if you want. So today I am doing a review. It's not really a review. That's why I call these videos my experience with a microphone, because this isn't really a review. This is more just giving you my story and my take and my use of particular microphones for those that might want help or are looking for a second point of view or looking for somebody that has experience with a particular microphone. This is one of the most ubiquitous home studio microphones. It's probably the most ubiquitous home studio microphone ever, the Rode NT1-A. This is my very first condenser microphone, and on some of my mic cases I have nifty labels, and I even have the date of purchase on this one, 2010. It's been 8 years since I bought that microphone. Now, I wasn't so kind with the review I just did of the Rode M3, but I don't have the same point of view on this microphone. The Rode NT1-A, you will see, it's probably one of the top sellers, if not the top seller, in every music store online, and of all time. And you know what? Once you upgrade to better microphones, you won't use it anymore probably. But on the other hand, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for all that success. First of all, it comes typically in a bundle for a beginner, as I was when I bought this. I never had used or touched or whatever a condenser microphone in my life before I got this. It comes with the one that I got it with, it came with a mic cable, and it came with a anti-pop filter that was also a spider or suspension, all in one. And I used it for a few years. If you look at some of my earlier YouTube videos, you can see me using it, and I don't regret buying this microphone. As I said, I don't use it really anymore, almost never. But at the time, and for quite a few years, it was a good part of my life. So let's see. I just spoke about the features that came with the bundle that I bought, which I see, last time I looked, they still had available. So just to be clear, this is, for those of you that are really beginners, this is called a large diaphragm condenser microphone, and because the diaphragm size is 1 inch, and condenser microphones run on phantom power, so you need to give it 48 volts from your mixer or audio interface or whatever that comes in through the mic cable. So it's a powered microphone, not a passive microphone like dynamic microphones are. And as far as the microphone itself, there are no other options on it. There's no high-pass filter. There's no pad. It is what it is. On the other hand, let's get into that first. I think Rode was very, very intelligent when designing this microphone for beginners, because that's let's be honest, that's who it's designed for. But for beginners, it works very well. If you plug this microphone into a cheap audio interface, which is of course what I had at the time, the way it is designed makes it very flattering and makes it, through a cheap audio interface, this microphone really holds its own versus more expensive microphones. It's only when you start getting better preamps, better audio interfaces, better converters and all that, that you start hearing, those expensive mics are much better. As long as you're in this beginner's world of, you know, $100 audio interface that you plug this mic right into and you compare mics in that, sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good within that context. I spoke about the fact that there was no high-pass filter, but it doesn't really need one. It is, again, designed intelligently for beginners so that when you record with this microphone, the sonic character of it is sort of pre-mixed, typical pre-mixed type gear. So that if ever you wanted a voice with a lot of bass in it, well, it's just not possible. But by default, it gives you a sort of sonic character which is pretty much pre-mixed, where it's about the amount of bass that you might take out of a more expensive condenser microphone by the time you get to EQing the mix. It can get, so let's get to the sonic character. As far as a room mic, some people say they use it as a room mic. No. For me, no. It's just, it can tend to be harsh, but once again, in the beginner situation where you're just here right up on the microphone singing your lead vocal and you have a cheap audio interface, that harsh side really doesn't come out very much. A little bit in the sibilance, of course. The sibilance of a vocal is the S sounds. But no, like I said, in that beginner context, it's really, it does a good job for that lead vocal. Now with my better gear, my better preamps, my better converters, my better audio interface, and I've tried it, sometimes uses it as a room mic and it just sounds like tinny and harsh. Ugh. But so this microphone, to me, again, this is my experience. I know other people's experience is different. There are even some people that have been recording for years that love this microphone and still use it all the time for lots of things. But, you know, to each their own. But to me, this microphone, like I said, in the beginner context, beginner's audio interface, got nothing else, it's great. It's a great way to start. Once you get over to, you know, mid-range gear, that's beyond that in a lot of ways, it's just obsolete. That's just my experience. So let's get to how it sounds on different instruments, because I'm sure a lot of you want to hear about that if you're shopping for your first condenser microphone. And then, yeah, that'd be a good thing. If I did a section on this versus other cheap comparable microphones, for those of you that are, again, in the market for your first microphone or your second microphone or whatever. This microphone, like I said, on vocals, I just spoke about it a bit. In the context of a beginner's setup with a, you know, low-level audio interface, you just got this mic and you plug it in and you do vocals close up. I think you're going to be really happy compared to the other comparable options out there in dynamic microphones. Some people say get an SM58 or SM57 or whatever. I think on a cheap audio interface, you're going to like this microphone more. I did. It has a larger spectrum. Like I said, it's It's pre-cut. The sonic range is pre-cut, pre-mixed for lead vocals. Pretty much. The only issue can be sibilance, circumstances, like I said. Top end can get a little harsh sometimes, depending if you back away too much. But for somebody who's starting out, lead vocals, great. On acoustic guitar, again, somebody who's starting out, put this thing on the 12th fret of your guitar, you're good to go. I think it's a little bit better of a mic actually on acoustic guitar than on lead vocals. But, you know, it's really pretty good in a beginner's setup for either, if you're starting out your home studio. For the rest, like I said, my experience in using it as a room mic or a distant mic or an overhead mic, not very good to me. Sounds quite tinny. Somebody spoke about using it for nature sounds. My experience with that is a little bit better. For like ambient stuff, if you record ambient stuff, if you like recording nature or the natural sound of cars going by in the distance, or you know, birds. Actually, it's pretty good in that context. I've found it's a fairly sensitive microphone. It gives you a nice level of detail. It doesn't sound tinny to me in that context. It sounds tinny to me when it starts getting more pressure in the distance, like, you know, like with percussion or whatever. And the fact that it doesn't have a pad makes it a bit more limited on percussion. It's not that sensitive. You could use it on light percussion for sure. But yeah, I'm not so sure about using it on a real like snare drum. I'd be a little scared. Anyway, so there you have it. Last thing I'm going to do, like I said, is talk about a lot of the other options that people spoke about. Okay, I haven't looked at the mics that are in this price range. You know, what is it? What is this thing worth? $150, $200, something like that. $200, I think. 200 euros, whatever. I haven't looked at the microphones in that range for a while. I've been lucky to be able to buy more expensive gear than that recently. Let's just say for a beginner that wants to feel like they're doing something more professional or modern in quotes, you know, there are some people out there who will recommend that you get this or that dynamic mic. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Get this mic or whatever. There might be an equivalent of this that's better for $200 recently. I don't know. But yeah, I was really happy to purchase this microphone. And as long as you don't have decent preamps, getting a dynamic mic is not going to help you. You need good preamplifiers, microphone preamplifiers or preamps, in order to drive and make a dynamic mic like the SM57 or SM58 sound decent. You're not going to get a good sound out of an SM57 or SM58 on a $100 audio interface. No, it's not going to happen. So, again, if you got your first audio interface, you're looking for a first mic or a second mic, and you're looking at this one, I think it's really quite good. You'll be able to spend a few years tuning your ear, getting experience with using gear, with mixing, with what it is to work with a condenser microphone. It's not that sensitive. You can sing somewhat loudly into it, and it'll take it. Yeah. So that's my point of view on as far as using it versus other microphones. I have heard a lot of people say good things also about the Audio-Technica AT2020, which is even cheaper than this. But I've never used it. So yeah, let's wrap it up. It's already been more than long enough. I know my videos are too long for most people. So, I said it a lot of times, but I'll just say it again at the end because there's going to be a summary marker. If you're a beginner, you're looking for your first condenser microphone, for your $100 to $200 audio interface, and that's all the gear you have, get this mic. It's a good one. It'll last you a few years until you decide to upgrade to something else, or you decide that a home studio is not for you. There you go. That's my summary. Cheers.